Hey folks, it's Nate coming at you. So I'm going to do sort of a follow-on from the OT configuration list I did a few nights ago. So tonight I'm going to do a bunch more Lightside styles. Some are prequel, some are OT. I don't think there's any sequel trilogy stuff in here. Mostly from animated series stuff, prequel and OT. Just got my SaberForge Eris back a day or two ago from my installer friend Charles down in LA, and he did a few upgrades to it, as well as a few minor repairs up on the emitter. This thing is feeling awesome. I've missed it. I love this saber a lot. This is one of my favorite sabers to use for demos. So we're gonna rock out with some Lightside stuff. All right.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Blind Cowboy. Now, one of the things I'm doing with this config on purpose is there's a lot of Lightside blue, and these are mostly blue and greens, but each version of blue is going to be a slightly different shade on the config, as well as the greens. So the goal for me for this config was to not use the same color twice. This is sort of like a medium blue or a deep blue.
I can sense your presence.
And then I'm using a slightly brightened swing on this one.
I wondered when you would return.
Temple Guardian from Cyberphonic. So on camera, this may look like just yellow and white, but this is actually a 5-color random perflicker LED blade. I originally did this blade style up when I was trying to think of something to do for the Tarantatek Slayer soundfont, and then I ended up just doing a slightly different version, which resulted in this, which I put on Temple Guardian. He normally has a solid yellow blade, but I wanted to do something a little bit more interesting than just solid yellow. So this is running a silver, a white, a yellow, a gold, and a brown, and then also a black. So there's actually 6 colors on this blade. And then I'm using my custom lockup code. I call it my Halo lockup. And this is the lockup that I've started using a lot more for Lightside blades, so for Sith red blades, and also for Lightside blades that are like purple and yellow, because it works a lot better than just plain white for like the oranges and the yellows and the golds, some of the colors that don't look as good with straight white, at least in my opinion. So that's my Halo lockup. Now this blade style is running an ice blade effect. Not sure why I put this on here at the time I built it. It doesn't really make sense. And although I like the color on this, basically an Arctic blue, I don't really like the ice blade effect for this particular blade style. So I'm likely going to take this section of it out of the style and just leave the regular blade as is.
Master Kenobi?
I am, and when you have your strength, I will help you on your way.
This is OB4v2 Rebels from Cyberphonic. All of the OB4 version 2 sound fonts are amazing. I love those redos that Cyberphonic did. This one, I won't say this one is my favorite of the three, but I will say this one has the best blaster block sounds of all three. It's just sick. Love that. So in this style, I have the force effect triggering a bright swing. It's close to white, but not quite. It's really just a brighter version of Skyblue. And then I think it toggles off again.
One doesn't survive as long as I have by being foolish or unprepared. All is an old adversary, and a persistent one at that.
Yeah. Force effect turns the bright swing on and off. That's usually pretty standard these days with my styles. I like to be able to toggle the any swing effects that I toggle on with the force effect. I like to be able to toggle back off.
The dark side I sense in you.
Little green friend from Cyberphonic. This is sort of a paler green, not quite a chartreuse. This is closer to like a SpringGreen. So a chartreuse has more red in the mixture. This one, I added a little bit more blue in the mixture. And this is Audioflicker.
Hard to see the dark side in.
So I updated this blade style for General Krell from Cyberphonic. I used to do a dual phase blue-green blade that would flip based on the blade angle. And then I've since done up a different style for this now. So what I'm doing now is a blue-green pulse blade. So it's basically using blue-green stripes. And also I'm using a SpringGreen on this one because it has a bluer mixture to it, so it meshes a little bit better with the blue color that it contrasts with. I like how this turned out. However, there's still a little bit more work I want to do with this one. Namely, you'll notice that there's an aura that travels up the blade with the green, but not with the blue. And that's because the blue, in my opinion, is not bright enough. So I still want to go in here and put in like a slightly brighter blue mixture. So you get that same halo effect off of both colors, off of both stripes. But I like the way the pattern is. I like the design. It came out nicely. Was able to get the stripe just at the right configuration so that when you swing it, gives you just a little bit of a like a unstable, like a smearing effect, but nothing too over the top. And I'm using Clash and Blast waves. A custom stab, which is green-yellow. And then I'm also using a green-yellow on the spark tip, on the ignition and retraction.
ASAayla reporting for duty.
Okay, so this is a new Heroes pack ASAayla from Kyberphonic. And then this is another version of blue. This is closer to, this is a little bit paler than a Skyblue. I dropped it down a little bit below Skyblue.
Carry the force with you, always. Keep going!
General Mundy, reporting for duty.
This Heroes pack Kiagi Mundi. And then this is an ArcticBlue that I'm using on his blade. And this is about the palest blue I can reasonably do on a NeoPixel blade before it really goes into more of a silver or a white. But I love this color. This is a really nice color. It's a little hard to pick up on camera, but I'm actually running 3 ratios of it. So I'm running 100%, 2/3, and then a 1/3. And as I always do, I'll leave those style codes available for my paste bins, so anybody that's interested in even if you don't necessarily want the style codes for them, but if you want to see the RGB values that I'm using for these different colors, they'll all be in the style codes. You can get them out of there. Still blue enough to where you can get a lockup with some prominence above it.
My time is finished.
And then this is a humpflicker blade.
Stand down or be destroyed. The day is ours.
Greed can be a powerful ally.
This is Heroes Pack ASQuiGon. So this is a dark green. And then this is running this is a static blade, and then I'm running an emitter wick at the base. It's a little harder to see on this blade because the blade insertion depth on the saber is like almost 3 inches. So the wick effect is actually like taking place under here. You can't actually see it. But on this particular saber for this config, I may have to up the emitter wick value so that I can actually see it up here. So it's currently set to like a 4 or 5,000. I'll have to set it to like closer to 7 or 8,000 so it actually shows up like up to here. That's one of the reasons I love this install so much by Charles on this SaberForge, on this Eris, is that he put the pins, the NeoPixel pins for the blade, like right here. So when the blade comes in, the blade literally is sitting like, gosh, I want to say at least 3.5 inches in. So it's really, really sturdy in here. And this is a 35-inch blade or 36-inch blade. So, but it's only looking like it's like 32 inches of visible blade. So it is secure, and you can feel it. I can feel it when I swing. Like, just it feels so much more nicely balanced. That nice long blade depth. I think I use a white unstable power up and power down ignition effects on that one too.
This party's over.
This is Heroes Pack Mace Windu. And this is going to be, this is a custom purple that is 40% red, 60% blue. So closer to an indigo than a magenta. And then I'm doing a very slight brightness increase on the swing. Just a very, very small brightness increase.
Force be with us all. May the Force be with us all.
with me, then you're my enemy.
Is Heroes Pack Anakin. And this is a light blue, not quite a cyan, not quite a blue. So this is paler than a regular blue, but darker than a cyan. So I think, so like cyan is usually like 50-50 green blue, and then blue is like obviously 100% blue. And then this one, this light blue is, it's like 33% green, 66% blue, something like that. And then I'm also running an unstable flame tip effect top on this one. And then bright white on the power down.
There are ways those who have passed on may still guide or influence the living.
This is Heroes Pack ASAayla.
Tell you what, I'll give you a merciful death.
This is probably one of the more challenging colors I've been wrestling with for a while now. Because ASAayla, if you're going after like canning accuracy on her blades, her Clone Wars blades, season 1 through season 6. Her main blade was green, and her Shoto blade was more of a green-yellow. But it was more like a 33% green, 66% yellow. So it was much more on the yellow side of green-yellow. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do for this config, which one I wanted to do. So I decided to do a Shoto blade. Since I figured that would be a little bit more interesting than just putting on another green blade. But getting the mixture right for that particular color was a real pain in the butt, specifically because this is actually a per LED flicker blade, but you can't tell because the colors are so close together and are so soft. That you really just don't see the flicker at all. It looks like a static blade from the camera. So it's one of those things where I ended up, I probably went through like 10 iterations of this style, just trying to get the color right. But now the texture is wrong. So I'm going to leave this as is for folks if you want it, because this is about as close as I could get to her canning color for season 1 through 6 Clone Wars for her Shoto blade. But I personally wanted something that would have a little bit more unstable flicker on it. So I'm going to work on a version 2 for myself that's a little fuzzier and a little busier, like, you know, that looks a little more rambunctious. But for anybody that wants a good Canon ASAayla Shoto color, please take this one. And then it also has a slight brightness on the swing too. It's not a white swing, but it's just a little bit of a brightness accent. It's like a 30% brightness accent on the swing. I think I'm using like reds, orange reds, and tomatoes, which is like a pale red. So I'm using tomatoes, orange reds, and reds on the blasts. And I'm compounding that with like an off-white, like a Navajo white, like a cream. And then off-white on the lockup. But I do love like this color mixture, that green-yellow color. I love how bright it is. It's so luminous. It's like you could light up a city block with this thing.
Are you a Jedi? I am.
This is TheRescue from Kyberphonic. This is Luke Skywalker from Mandalorian. This is a green humpflicker blade. And again, a really big fan of these blaster blocks. They're just so gorgeous. I'm using a power ripple effect in the end of lockup. It's basically just a fancy word for saying you're using a striping effect.
I will give my life to protect the child, but he will not be safe until he masters his abilities.
Now there is a very soft emitter flare on this blade style, and again it's hard to see because the depth of the insertion of the blade on this particular saber. But the emitter flare I'm using on this one is not white, it's basically just a brighter green. It's almost like a seafoam green. But what I'll do, if people are interested in having a more canonized effect on this style, if you want this style, I'll basically go in and I'll just suppress the emitter flare and then turn it off, so then it's just this color on the entire blade. And this is a chartreuse that I'm using on this blade. So this is basically a green with, this is like 5/6 green, 1/6 red. That's basically what chartreuse is. This is Royalty from Kyberphonic, and oldie but a goodie. This is a very, very dark blue. Standard blue is a 00255. This is a 0060. So I'm running a very dark blue on this. Or I guess dark really isn't the word. I'm using a dim blue on this one.
Never underestimate a droid. Never underestimate a droid. Yes, Master.
And I'm going to take off all the sequel trilogy quotes off this font and put on some OT quotes. I want some. There are some really good OT Leia quotes, and they need to be on here. So I think I'm going to do that tonight. Because I can think of at least 10 or 20 that I would want on here that are all just from like Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back. She had some great dialogue. Those movies. You scruffy looking nerf herder.
Battery power level.
So that's it for the the remaining of the Lightside styles that I've got laying around that I wanted to show y'all, with some nice variations on blues and greens for the Bladestyles. And most of these were, so I took a look at a lot of the animated series clips, going back and tried to apply those colors appropriately to the different characters. So that was a lot of fun. It's always fun doing that stuff. So I'm not going to proclaim that this is 100% canon, but I've paid more attention to that aspect of these styles, I think, in this config than I have in a lot of other ones. So please enjoy. Thank you again for watching. I hope you all have a great Christmas. If you would like any of these styles for your Proffie saber, I will leave the pastebin link in my video description as always. Please feel free to grab them. And if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, y'all. Take care.